Hello, everyone. Welcome inside the Red Earth Production Studios for this edition of YBMcast. Today, from the studio, we are live. This is happening as we speak. We have not done this much in the studio, but I guess we just got used to it being out at the facilities. We're just like, what the hey, let's do it. No, actually, we had some difficulties with the schedule and we were here. We just left it here. So we're live today. So this is real. It's not Memorex. If you're old like me, you get that. If you're not, maybe not. Yeah, don't get it. Anyway, it means it was recorded. But we're not recording it today. Well, we are recording it, but you're seeing it as we go. I'm gonna move on right now. YBM Cast powered by Game 7 Baseball. Game7baseball.com. Got some good stuff happening here. Game 7 baseball. We're excited. We have we've posted some of the stuff. We posted actually, they're not the right dates yet. We got to fix that, but I didn't have enough time to fix it all before we went on live here because I wanted to have the high school schedule up for you. We got the high school schedule up. G.A.C. Game of the Week is up. But Game 7 Baseball, get your team registered. Look, we've got Spring Showdown, I-70 Showdown. We're going to be at the Warrenton games there. Hey, look, fellas, it's Mitchy the Kid.
Let's go. Oh, look how you put me in there. That's fantastic.
You like that?
I do.
Well, I can't take credit for it. That's my dude over there, my engineer. That was Drew's idea.
All right, I owe you, Drew. I heard him laughing in the background. He's like, yeah, that's funny.
So, but hey, that's where Spring Showdown, I-70 Showdown. We got the Cinco de Mayo Slugfest. We're going to be out at Warrenton. We got the state championships down at Ballparks National, Max Creek, World Series. We're hoping to get down to Tennessee, and we may be sneaking a few more in there. So make sure you're registered. Saturdays are going to be, as the kids say, off the chain.
Oh, I thought you were going to say lit.
Oh, is it lit now?
I have no idea. Lit was completely different when we were kids.
Yes, it was. That's why I didn't use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I should have said no cap.
I have
think
no idea anymore. Hey, you know what? It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be big, huge. We'll just use those terms. How's that?
Yeah, I like that. Huge.
Huge. Huge. As you can
Huge.
see, our lineup of hats is growing too here, Mitch.
Yeah, we haven't been in the studio with all the different things going on for both of us, and I'm looking at them hats, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I just randomly, have a sweet little, spring training. So you got the classic Cardinals, right?
Sweet.
But check out that logo, that side badge.
That's killer.
And I put this on mostly because our City Connect is releasing this year, and I'm hoping that we have some of the action that's going on in here in that jersey. The arch, the Lou. I hope that that's something we'll see in our City Connects.
Now, on the City Connects, have you heard the rumor that the birds and the bats might not make it on that jersey?
I have, which I've seen like 3 mock-ups that are pretty routine, and one of them is super ugly. And that's and no disrespect to the French community, but the Fleur de Lis little blue and white top, I did that was an ugly mock. If that's the leak, there's been one I saw that says the Lou across it.
Oh,
that I like, and so replacing the birds on the bat with something that that's our city's nickname. I'm all for that. They only play on them a few times a year. Some of them are awful, and some of them are pretty neat. So I just hope they do a really good job of connecting the arch and the gateway to the west to to this uniform.
Yeah, I think that'd be
That's a
cool.
huge miss if they don't get it.
You could put one of the Cardinals up on the U, sitting right there on the U, right?
Oh yeah, you still have the hat and the side, on the jersey, on the arm. You could still put that stuff there. I mean, um, I'm sure that they'll represent the birds on the bat. It's always been a thing, So we'll see.
Yeah,
I wonder if I sometimes wonder if it's going to go back to the days of the perfectos, if it's going to have some of that look to it, which was the Cardinals, prior to the Cardinals. So I wonder how where they're going to go. There's a lot of history here, right? I mean,
yeah,
we got to think about the train system that's here, and how it impacted in war, where all the nurses, there's a large community of nurses. That's why we have such a large nursing program in our city, is because of troops being shipped to St. Louis because of that. So it's in the French, obviously, the Fleur de Lis, St. Louis. So um, I'm interested.
it'll be fun. I think it'll be.
Yeah,
I agree.
there's a heck of a lot more history out there that I'm sure that people um, aren't privy to, which is fine. It's I'm a bathroom reader, so
Yeah. And listen, the Dodgers, in my opinion, missed miserably on their City Connects. Those things are terrible. I mean,
I
it
think
just
I think I understood what they were doing. They were trying to, I guess, chase a certain demographic maybe with the view, but
it was
or with the I didn't like it.
no, it
The
was a
Angels I
miss.
didn't like. Wrigleyville I thought was pretty cool.
Yep.
South Side I thought was pretty neat. I
Mm-hmm.
love the colorway with the black and white pinstripes with the White Sox. Cincy I thought did a nice job
Yep.
uh, with theirs, and I've always kind of been against the black pant, but they pulled it off real nice in Cincy.
I like what I didn't. Yeah, the Diamondbacks, the D-backs, their City Connects were. I liked what they did because they usually get crazy with their uniforms, but they've settled that down a little bit, and so. But
The
anyway,
Serpentines.
yeah. Let me finish this. Game7baseball.com. We're gonna get Dave on here hopefully real soon. Talk, get the schedule out. It'll be up on the website. Right now, the G.A.C. Game of the Week, the Missouri Showcase, all that's up. You can go to youthbaseballmidwest.com, go to the high school page. Those things are there. And we're going to start off today with that. Um, uh, as you can see, though, my dog Mitchy the Kid here, he's coming in on the Prime Sports Midwest call-in link today, not in studio. So um, I don't know if you've seen the schedule or not. You're probably hearing a lot of this for the first time as well, Mitch. But our GAC Game of the Week, we have the GAC Classic in here. All this information is on the website. But we're starting off, I think, with a tremendous matchup. It's a rematch right off the kick of the I think it's District 6. Yeah, District 6 title game between Winfield and St. Charles West. Went to St. Charles West 11-10. It was a barn burner ball game. But March 26th, that Tuesday, Winfield at St. Charles West. That's going to be a dandy.
So Rue, Coach New Allen, I call him Rue, for those out there that have watched him on the show with some of his, he's been on the show, I think twice, right?
Mm-hmm. Couple times.
And I saw him last night. So I was talking to him. I said, hey, man, because I told him I wasn't coaching this year. I'm not coaching high school baseball, and super excited about the opportunity to work with you guys and doing some play-by-play and experiencing the high school game very differently now, instead of having the rose-colored glasses with being with my previous school. So I'm excited about just rooting for talent, right, and watching the talented kids play. And both Winfield and St. Charles have some guys on it, even their small schools have some guys. And so I was talking to Rue, and he's like, man, how about game early on in the year to have such significance? And I wasn't privy to this, but there was some things that happened between the last game for them and the district game, that I didn't know about. And so I think there's going to be some rivalry this rivalry is going to get a little bit more expanded than maybe it had been in the past. So I'm like, man, right off the gate, you have a really nice rivalry game kind of brewing,
Yeah.
and I'm excited for that. Only to see some of the maybe the fireworks um, that might be there,
I think it's going to be fiery because I think Winfield is playing a little bit with a chip on their shoulder.
as they
You
should.
know, they're out there. Nobody talks about them too much, whatnot. We're just kind of, nobody's saying it's St. Charles West here in the city. They're same size schools, but, Winfield, people go, where's Winfield? You know, and I think they're playing with a little bit of that chip, and maybe we'll see if it gives them an advantage.
Yeah, that's what I like about it too. Winfield has been that, St. Charles West had kind of fallen off, and another school would take over, another, based on recruiting, our incoming classes. And, that Winfield had been there for a couple of years, and now St. Charles West kind of taking that over. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Following week, right off, boom, April 2nd, we're going to be at Fort Zumwalt South for the Liberty Eagles. I think this is a G.A.C. Central matchup that is not spoiler alert, because we're live, right?
Yep.
This is going on right now, so we got to mind our P's and Q's. You kiss your
What
mama
are
with that
those?
mouth?
I did. She's the one that taught me.
Oh man. Anywho, um, Liberty loaded. They've not been healthy the last couple of years. They've always had that injury. Last year, Ty Holm and Seth Bennett. The year before that, I think one of their big pitchers was down. They just haven't been healthy enough, I think, to really compete. Well, you got Ty Holman back. You've got Snurbush there. I know I'm missing a kid. We're going to do the previews. Carter Cox, Hankey, Connor Hankey. These two. This, I think, is one of the premier matchups of the G.A.C. Game of the Week. Two top teams. I think it could be a pitcher's duel. I'm looking forward to this one, Mitch.
Yep, it's another one. I've seen that list that you have out there, and I've been paying attention. And you know what? Here's what I tell everybody about the GACs. It seems like no matter what game you do of the week, it is gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
And I know that there's some programs that may be down, but they still have a guy that's going to compete for you. That's what I've noticed about just in general. They always have a one or two arms. What is it like defensively? We talk about depth.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at Liberty, seeing that there's a lot of Liberty kids that come into the facility, watching those young men through the off-season work, I'm going, this is going to be a team that I think people underestimate because, like you said, of injury. So, and they've missed out. They've got unlucky. The ball didn't bounce their way or whatever. Have this year they've earned that luck to get through a full season healthy. I know the kids are trying because they're working their tails off, trying to be healthy. So, I wasn't aware some of these young men went to Liberty, and it's one of the cool things is one of the teams that we train actually has about 4 or 5 kids from South and like 4 or 5 kids from Liberty.
Oh, wow.
And uh, of course, me being the goon that I am, we're getting ready to wrap up some of our winter training so that with the high school stuff. So we've kind of wrapped it up. So I start running my mouth.
Oh boy.
Hey, you guys know that April, you guys are going to see each other, and we're going live. And I'm not kidding you. One guy adjusted himself to his pitcher. This young man's like 85, 86, drills him. And I loved it. And it was on purpose. But one kid goes to South, one kid goes to Liberty. And I'm like, let's go. Like I said, I'm a goon. So I loved it. And, the competition's already there. It started. And I meant for that to happen. I wanted to see them get fired up, because I think competition's great. I think it's a good thing. And maybe it gone a little too far. But the young man didn't need to adjust himself. So at the guy throwing him the baseball,
Oh
and he
man.
hit him in the backside. So it wasn't a rib shot or a head shot. So all is fun and love and war, I guess.
Maybe a bruise, you know.
Oh, he's
There
got
you go.
one.
Oh,
It's
I'm
about as
sure.
big as that. It's about as big as that East logo that you got in front of you. It's a good bruise.
Oh, mercy. Following that, we go to the South. Rematch last year. You're familiar with this one. I like this. Hey, and wait a minute. Before we move on, April 2nd that week, I was going back and forth. I want to give a shout out to Coach Goff, Washington. Zumwalt East is traveling down to Washington, and I thought about that game. I think this South and Liberty one is that's what we went with, but no, we want to get down to Washington, and Coach Goff, we will. We're going to have him on, coming up on a preview here real soon. So, it's tough to make these decisions. It really is, because I think that Washington East game is going to be a dandy as well. So that's the tough thing. You got a couple of games of the week there, and I mean, we only have so many, cameras. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, internet services. I mean, and not everything works where you go, and so that's part of that. And I will tell you again, I love what's happening in the GACs right now.
Yeah,
All three
yeah.
of them. Don't sleep on none of them.
No.
I really like it. And it's exactly what you just said. Any Tuesday and Wednesday, you have a game. It's got something, and you
Yeah,
could pick the two worst teams in the league. They're still fighting, and they're still 500. There's still a rivalry between a couple of the schools. I mean, I'm excited.
yeah. So April 9th coming up then. Last year we were there at Francis House Central when Ramos hit the bomb to win the game for Timberland. So we're going to be at Timberland in that week for Francis House Central and at Timberland rematch of that game. Macy Richie Swain out there. I'm looking forward to seeing what some of this young talent from Francis House Central. I think they'll compete. They got some guys. Henthron will be there. I think we got a good matchup. I think between these two teams. We're going to get into. I'm not going to do too much yet because we're going to get into the previews of the South here for too long, but that's going to be a dandy. Then between that, we've got our G.A.C. Classic from Carshield Field the following week. And we've got 6 games in 2 days on the 16th and 17th, Mitch.
I'm packing my lunch, buddy.
Oh, we got lunch, baby. We'll have lunch for you. Don't worry. We're going to
Can
take
I
care
can
of
I
you.
make a request though?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I get a better chair than I had last year?
We'll do our best, my friend.
My backside was numb, man. I'm gonna need one of them like hospital seats, after you have one of those kind of surgeries or something.
We'll work
Man,
on that.
it was a long day in that chair.
But the week of the 16th, 17th, on that Tuesday, we've got the GAC Classic starting with the North, St. Charles at versus Winfield at 2 o'clock. St. Charles West versus Orchard Farm at 4:30, and then the nightcap, which I think is going to be really good, is North Point versus Warrenton at 7 o'clock. So that's all from there. And then the Central we have on Wednesday, Fort Zumwalt North versus Fort Zumwalt South at 2 o'clock. Liberty and Washington at 4:30. That's going to be really good. Nightcap, Zumwalt East and Holt. It's going to be good.
Gonna be good.
I really like those two lineups. And then the next week, we'll be back on that Tuesday at Carshield Field on the 23rd for the South GAC Baseball Classic. Troy Buchanan versus Timberland leads it off. That should be a dandy. I think that's going to be a really good baseball game right there. Both those teams got talent. That's going to be I think that's a toss up there, Mitch.
It's going to come down. Obviously, all this comes down to how good the pitching is going to be in health, right? So when I look at that game, and again, being where we're located, I get Timberland kids that come in and work out. I get Troy kids that come in and work out. And you know, with the game that we did last year, North Point and Troy, and the freshman that they had up, the third baseman. Um, I'm drawing a blank.
Oh,
Soccer. My
yes.
gosh, but
Oh, the young,
uh,
yeah. I
yep,
know
the
who you're
third
talking
baseman
about.
and the catcher. I'm like, man, those two guys. I know the catcher graduated, but
No, no,
you know,
Jackson Ryder's back.
oh, I
Are
thought
you
he was
talking
a
about
senior.
are you talking about at Troy?
Yeah.
No, he's back. Him
Oh,
and
I
Cam,
thought he
the
graduated.
shortstop, Cam Casso, Jackson Ryder, they're both back. They were juniors last year, dude. Oh, Troy
Yeah.
Buchanan's got
So
some
that
dudes.
well, they lost that pitching though, right? So are they going to be able to replace that pitching?
They lost Ryan McDonald. It'll be interesting. Go check out. So if you want to know that, go check out the preview with Troy Buchanan, Coach Justin Rogers. Go check it out. Go check out the show.
See, I haven't been paying attention, so I didn't even know that was out there. So I probably should have done some research to know where Troy was at to see what the kind of guys they have. But I mean,
Yeah, we.
again, just I love every piece of this, and you know what I really am digging is that 7 p.m. game,
Oh, I know, right?
that dusk, dark.
Uh-huh.
I love night baseball. I love playing at night. I the noon games, the 12:30 starts. I'm like, sun's bright. Hopefully, we get sun and not cold. But man, those night games are it's just something about the bright lights of a stadium,
Right.
and I can't wait to watch these games at night.
I'm with you. And that's, you were leading off. Then the 4:30 game, Fort Zumwalt West versus Howell Central, the nightcap, Howell North versus Howell. And I'm looking forward to seeing this Howell North team because the new coach, the new head coach, and, I wasn't planning on talking too much about it, but because I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name, and it's right there at the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to get to know it. I wrote it down so I'd remember. But they got a new coach. Donahue's retired. A new era basically at Howell North. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes along there.
Yep, that's another one. And last year, for the most part of that game that we did last year between Howell North and Howell, I felt like Howell North had kind of stuck around long enough. And I think we had mentioned, if Howell keeps messing around with Howell North, they might give them a chance or some hope to pull out a win. And again, being in St. Charles County, being G.A.C. right in the heart of the G.A.Cs.
Mm-hmm.
I've talked to some of those kids from Howell North, and they believe in the new blood. They believe in this new culture. It's not to take anything away from Donahue. He's been around a long time. He coached me when I was youth for an event back then, and all the respect to him and his retirement. But sometimes there needs to be change, and those kids got fired up because they feel like high school sports. A lot of people like to go to the politics thing, right? And sometimes you have a coach like that might have his guys, and a new coach coming in, he doesn't have any guys. They're all new, so they all may get that equal shot. And I'm not
So
saying that that's done to you, by the way, but
right, I
that's
understand,
just
but
a feeling for the young people.
it's head coach is Mike Friedline. Is coach, if you're here watching, give us a shout. Love to talk to you. Whatnot. But I wanted to do that real quick. I want to finish this up because I want to get to our preview. We're previewing the G.A.C. North too as well, so I want to get to that. But the finale for our G.A.C. game of the week is a dandy. One of the things I like about this, and here's a little bit, so you can watch on Monday night. Make sure you're tuned in to Youth Baseball Midwest or Monday afternoon, because we're going to be at Liberty North on that Monday the 29th for Staley versus Liberty North. two of the top teams in the state. This year, again, back-to-back state champions. Staley is loaded. We're going to be there Monday. And then we're going to come back that morning, the next morning, that night, whatever the case. On Tuesday, we're going to be at Fort Zumwalt West for Francis Howell at Fort Zumwalt West to finish off the G.A.C. game of the week. That's 2 days of some very, very high-level baseball, Mitch.
You have this show has given me the opportunity to see what else is out there in this state. I thought, 3 years ago, people would say Missouri baseball is there's some dudes. I said, man, no, there's not. Missouri baseball's down. We don't have work ethic. We don't have this, that, and the other. I was absolutely incorrect. So I apologize to all those athletes and all those programs for letting my ego or whatever it was get in the way of thinking that Missouri baseball was so far behind. And again, opening my eyes to PBR, opening my eyes to some of the things I've been on these shows and get to experience the conversations with Inside Edge and Mac and Sites and watching all this stuff. I am super pumped about following this journey this summer.
Yeah.
And the state of high school sports in the state of Missouri in general, whether you're in Springfield or you're in a small town in Hannibal or you're in Kansas City, St. Louis, Columbia, there is some really darn good talent. And let's not forget the other side of the river. There's good talent over there.
Yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun. I think the G.A.C. Game of the Week, we're going to see some really high-level baseball, and we've got some others, and we'll get to our Missouri showcase, our Illinois showcase, and all that coming up. But I want to get to this. Remember, go ahead, Drew. Let's give the folks a little taste of Prime Sports Midwest here. Mitch the Kid on the Prime Sports Midwest calling link. Roll the tape. Oh, did I? Well, go ahead. Do that. We'll come back to that. We want to get to our good friends at Prime Sports Midwest because I know Drew's like, oh, wait, I don't normally do that. This is live. We are live today. So this is happening as you see it. So there you go. Except for if you're watching later when we're not live.
This gives you a little of the hurdles that we might have during an episode.
Okay, so G.A.C. North. Again, we were talking about that earlier. I think the G.A.C. North has some of the best 4 and 5 class teams in the state. St. Charles Pirates. They're coming off a tough 2023. Enjoy talking with Coach Bickle over there. What do they need to do to right the ship? If you get a chance, go check out the G.A.C. preview with Coach Bickle from St. Charles High School. It was a lot of fun. Great information there. He's got his senior Carter Dorlock / 329, 473, 92, and Zach Williamson. They're going to be called on to do some damage there, leadership-wise. But they've got a couple of 2025s in Mason Hickerson, Caden Hammer, Nate Mosley. These guys were really good as sophomores. Mason Hickerson, Mitch, hit 423, 471, 526, 16 runs, 18 RBIs. That's some pretty good production, man.
As a sophomore?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the hard part about it is when you look at that number and you're like, a high school kid should hit close to 380, 400 or whatever if he's kind of that guy or he's the heart of your hitting lineup kind of thing. And I'm thinking 423, I'm like, man, so what happens if he hits 380 this year? Is it like a letdown? And I'm like, it's so unfortunate because when you have such a good year like that, how do you repeat? And
right.
So, those are the stories that you see within a season is, does he have to, did he have a great off season? Is he prepped? Is he healthy? Does he have any nagging injuries? So that 423, I think is a good number, a very good number, especially in this conference. So I'm looking for how he rebound or not rebounds, but how he does this season.
Caden Hammer, 357, 11 runs scored, 26 RBIs. That's a lot of run production right there. I know people go 26. Hey, look, 26 RBIs in high school. That's really good. I mean,
Won a game.
you guys, and this is what's interesting when you start looking at stats and things. You see a kid like we saw over at Howell, some of these kids putting up, 50 some RBIs. That's exceptional in high school. Okay, just understand that's the top 1%. All right, just like to make that clear when we're looking at those things. Caleb McCullum hit 357 with only 14 plate appearances last year, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets more at bats. What he can do that way. Braden Reese scored 13 runs, drove in 7. So this team can put up some runs. They can score. We see that. I think the Pirates, it's going to be pitching. This is the thing. And it's always tough with the small schools. And I want to come back to that question with you here just real quick, but I want to go to the Orchard Farm Eagles. Phil Kendall is not the coach this year. We didn't get a chance to reach out to the coach there. So it'll be interesting to see. But, they got a 2025 grad in Matt Lambeck who slashed 405, 500, 432, 9 runs scored, 14 RBIs. And 2026 grad Brady Rosenberg slashing 288, 373, 346 with 16 runs and drove in 11 off a solid freshman season. They've got 2024 grad Blake Jakul, who had 7 starts, 29.7 innings pitched in his junior season. To me, these teams, and this is what you have with some of these smaller schools like this, pitching. Where do you find the pitching, Mitch?
You call somebody and have them transfer. I have no idea. I know that's against the rules. Um, but again, I got some Titus Fisher, somebody that you covered a couple years ago at 14U. He's going to have an opportunity as a sophomore this year to maybe help that staff out
Which
where
one?
injury hit Orchard Farm.
Okay, there you go.
So that's an opportunity for him to help that program. Maybe get over whatever hurdles that they're in.
And
Some of
I
these things are.
just to let you guys know, Titus is a dog on the mound. He is a
He can
competitor.
be that guy.
Yeah, he's a competitor. Doesn't throw, what is he, low 80s, Mitch, right now?
78 to 80.
78 to 80. It's okay. But he gets people out. He can pitch. He can do that for a team in those situations. In a Class 4, if you got a guy that can get people out, they put the ball in play, that's what you want, right?
Yeah, he's left-handed, and he had some injuries last year. I think played JV ball for him. Maybe got some time at the end to pitch run or whatever he did there. But last winter he had no opportunity. He broke his hand during basketball. He just broke a toe recently trying to lift. So he's been a little unlucky, but he's cleared and ready to go for tryouts. So I have personal investment in that one, right? So I can't. I hope that he obviously makes varsity and helps that group. But again, just across the board, some of the towns that like a Warrenton's a bigger draw of athletes than maybe an Orchard Farm, because Orchard Farm probably has to split with St. Charles a little bit, or maybe St. Charles West because of boundaries. So maybe they lose, some of those players that could help them. I know that they're all the same district or the same conference, but the pitching, there's got to be something. You either need to outslug people, or you need to pitch and play defense. And in this conference, I think it's your game 1 is going to be pitching and defense, and your game 2 is going to be outslugging everybody. I feel like every school has a guy that at least one big arm. Everybody else down the line, you're trying to get innings out, and you're trying to manage a roster to do your darndest as a coach on trying to get through a grueling schedule, because they still have games on Friday, still have games on Saturday. So
Right.
who's throwing those games?
Right.
Your number 7 starter.
And and do you have one of those kids that's on JV that can give you some innings here and there? I mean, it really is all hands on deck in those levels, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah,
There's
and think about it too. Is like a school like Timberland, and I'm using Timberland for an example because obviously I coach there. They're going to play 30 games this year.
right.
If we're talking about
36, man.
West,
30
well,
to
whatever. I
35.
forget what the max is. The max 35.
Max is 36.
So they'll probably play 35 to 36 with weather's going to be an issue, but these schools, I bet that they play 24, 25,
Right.
because they're not going to schedule those many games because they don't have a big enough roster to be able to do these things. And so it's while I love the GACs, it's also there is some uh, they are separated from the top to the bottom as far as the big conference versus the smaller of the conferences. The GAC South's the biggest,
Right.
and I mean there's 20 guy rosters.
It's
You
just the
know,
difference between Class 4 to Class 6 baseball. And you have those Class
period.
5, depending, and that Class 5 is somewhere in the middle, depending upon where you're at in that size. It's just the way it
Yep.
is. But,
And you deal with
okay,
it. That's the luxury of it. Culture is huge. So if you don't
absolutely.
have buy-in from your staff or your team, it could be a long season.
So now, the Prime Sports, Mitchie the Kid there on our Prime Sports Con link. Are we up for that? We ready to go? No? I thought you put it up there, bro.
See right too.
Yeah, we want to play that video from our folks, so our good friends over at Prime Sports Midwest. If you're looking for a bat, go buy one. There you go. I want Rick.
That highlighter's out.
I know. Did you see that? That was cool, Mitch.
It's a highlighter.
Woo, that was cool.
I
And
still remember the green and the old Eastons that were green and aluminum colored gray.
awkward pause.
Yeah, I'm like, come on, Drew. This is what you get, Drew, for calling me Mitchie the Kid.
Oh, that was tough. Ooh.
Yeah.
No.
What we have here,
Is a failure to put the video up. And that's okay. You know,
as they
yeah,
say, stuff happens.
it is. And we were rushing at the end there. I was throwing stuff up, and it was kind of one of those things, man. It's been a whirlwind of a month and a half from the start to January when we rolled out to Kansas City to finishing up over at. And I want to give a shout out while we're waiting on Drew to get this done to Diego Solares for allowing us out to the Southern Illinois preseason ID showcase over at the Sports Barn in Wood River this past Saturday. We were going to have Diego on, but some circumstances, his mother was having surgery and couldn't make it, and we hope she comes out of that very well. Diego, our thoughts and prayers are for your mother there. But we're going to get Diego on. We'll have him on the show here next week, and we'll get that taken care of. But so because we're on that side talking to those kids. It was a lot of fun, Mitch, over there. How we doing over there, Drew? Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Prime Sports Midwest. Go see Rick Benz. Go check out the bats. Look, one of the best inventories of gloves, hats, pants, shirts, jerseys. You can get all your team wear done. You can go. I'm sure most of these people are probably already got their stuff done too. Right, Mitch? They got their uniforms. Everybody's
I
there.
hope.
So basically, if you need an elbow guard, if you want to look, you get the +10 with the oven mitt in the back pocket.
Don't.
Come on,
It's a
Mitch.
-10.
It's a -10.
Yeah, they need the rad gloves that they can get from Prime Sports Midwest. That gives them a +15.
A +15.
Yeah, well, you listen. I'm being to all due respect to our guys down there, the hand guards. Look at these fat fingers. They ain't gonna fit in no. They ain't gonna fit in no oven mitt. Get out of here. We don't go back to talking about Prime Sports because Rick does a whole way better job than me being upset about a oven
Oven
mitt.
mitt. Okay, so
I hate
plus
him.
15 for the hand guard.
No,
Helmets. Your
rad.
bags. Got your all your bags, all your stuff, everything. Go there. Go. You can even. I love the bat demo opportunity. You can go there, try out the bat before you buy it. Just check with Rick and his staff there. They do a great job getting those things done. Make sure you go Prime Sports Midwest, primesportsmidwest.com, or go to 1550 Ocello Drive, Fenton, Missouri. It's a great place to go. I love putting the glove on. How does it fit on your hand? I love that stuff. Smell the leather, Yeah, baby. That's what I'm
Yeah,
talking about.
as a DH, I could care less about the glove and I need a good pine tar and good batting gloves, chains and all that stuff maybe. But
So
the
what
what
are
I
the
love
so
most,
we can't call it, is it swag? Is it drip? Is it bling? What the heck are we talking about here?
um, you like 80s 90s rap?
Sure.
You remind me of my fat gold chain. That's what we're gonna call them.
Oh
Gold
yeah,
chains,
man.
baby. Pop the chains. That's like, why can't we just stick that? It worked. It was great. The old Sammy Sosa, Ricky Hendersons of the world.
Pop the gold chain, baby.
Yeah, pop the gold chain. Now, you know what's crazy though is I've been looking up some of this stuff. The sparkly stuff we've been seeing all over the major leagues. All that stuff is for the most part fake jewelry. I mean, it's
Oh,
it's like
yeah.
nickel or whatever, but I was shocked to kind of see that. But I don't know. These the look good, feel good, play good. Um, back in the days, we were lucky if we didn't have elastic, pants that were half shins. Now it's a style,
We're
and
gonna
we were
have to
made fun of.
we're gonna have to get Rick. Go ahead and get the gold chains, bro, and we'll
Get
we'll
them.
we'll we'll tell them why. Just we'll tell everybody YBM, or just everybody out there. Tell Rick YBM sent you for the gold chain. He'll love
Yeah,
that, right? There you
or the Cuban links, the Onyx Cuban links. Those work too.
go. Oh mercy. Okay, I wasn't ready for that, but now we got it. So back to the North preview. One of the ones I think I'm on this wagon here, Mitch. The North Point Grizzlies. Um, Now, I would imagine if I'm sitting here, I haven't talked to him yet about this, but Mr. Kevin Mulder would go, maybe a year away. I don't know. They're still maybe a little young. I don't know, man. You got some dudes here. Kevin Mangrum is coming back, slash 386, 506, 514. 25 runs scored, three doubles and three triples. Leading the charge there, you got 2024 grads, Nick Herman. 25 grad Jack Cowling. Jack Cowling is good both sides, pitching and offense. The Bridle brothers, Peyton and Braden. Alex Blair's coming back to this lineup. You got 2026 grads, Joseph Gonzalez, Brady Eisenbath, and Stone Marion. How are they going to get a chance to make an impact on this team? Brandon McQuarrie was 3-4 with a 3.95 ERA. I just think this team has offense and pitching more than the other teams, even St. Charles West right now. Then that's where I think I see North Point.
I believe in Coach Hellman,
Yeah.
and I believe in his culture. Something he said a long time ago when it was a new program, and Timberland had put up 15 runs or whatever it was, and some of the things that happened in that game frustrated me as a Timberland coach. And so I talked to Hellman about it after the game, and candidly, Hellman goes, "I told those guys, do not forget that feeling." And ever since then, I've started paying attention to North Point. And you saw the growth from their first year to the last year. What, 3 wins to 18 wins or
Yep.
whatever it was, or that's a dramatic difference. And um, you can't help but root for them, especially when we saw them play against Troy on that Friday night. What a thriller of a game um, that was, and they had their big arms throwing for both programs. It was a meaningful game for the both of them, and I think that North Point is maybe a couple young kids away, and um, that sophomore and junior group I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, this freshman class, I don't know much about the freshman class, um, but that's what I'm looking for. Is I'm like, what young kid is going to come in and make an impact player to get them over the hump? I think that's an arm. It's an arm that can compete, not get a bunch of walks and put them in bad situations. And they challenge their schedule. When you look at their schedule, they are challenging themselves.
North Point was 11-14 last year, and they were
11.
4-6 in the North, the GAC North. So, and like you said, I mean, Troy Buchanan was a really good baseball team last year.
Yep.
I mean, that wasn't a fluke or anything like that. They're not. They're going to be a good baseball team again this year. So I think North Point did themselves a solid. I think it's back. We're looking forward to actually tonight, Mitch. We're going to be recording. I think our last 3 G.A.C. previews. We got Coach Hellman coming in the studio. We got Coach I believe it's pronounced Burley. I got to make sure. But from Warrenton and Coach Goff. Those are our last 3. We're going to be able to talk to them. We couldn't get them on before we did this here, but I think it'll be interesting to see what they have to say and what's going on there.
North Point is going to be my maybe your watch out for or your lookout for team. The St. Charles West, I think, is the front runner, in my opinion, because of the arm that they got.
Whoa, you're getting ahead of it now. Hang on.
Okay, sorry.
Hang on. So we're gonna go back to.
I didn't have studio notes. This is live.
Yeah, I know. So I'm gonna get here. North Point there. I want to finish this up pretty quick. St. Charles West, of course, GAC North title. Winfield took away their opportunity for their 3rd straight GAC North, but they did win their 3rd consecutive District 6 title. So, and dude, Brendan Goring, kid's a stud, going to Mizzou. He's right there at the top of that. Middle lineup healthy. He was nursing a hamstring all last year, okay? Folks, he was nursing a hamstring all last year, still hit 421, slashed 488, 579, 28 RBIs, 8 doubles, 2 triples, while nursing a hamstring. It's just, that kid is for real. And then he pitched. He didn't pitch as much because he had some trouble with that. And I know Coach Allen was, substituting him in for running and things of that nature, but wow. Then you've got some other guy, Matt Box, 2025 grad, 362, 470. He had 24 runs, runs driven in, 15 runs scored. You've got some fella. Brendan Goring was also 6-1 on the mound. My goodness. You got Carson Quinn coming back. He slashed 357, 481, 548. One of the guys that don't sleep on right at the top of their lineup. We had him on the show. You saw this. Noah Grambling. Noah's an unassuming kid. Heck of a nice kid. Really enjoyed talking with Noah. Noah hit 433, slashed 524, 558, scored 35 runs, drove in 24, 9 doubles, 2 triples. Somebody's got to let this kid play some college baseball. He needs a couple sandwiches, and we talked about that, and he laughed about it. And he's just one of those kids that hasn't physically matured yet. But, dude, look at 433, 524, 558, 35 runs, 20 runs driven in, 24 runs scored, 9 doubles, 2 triples.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers
don't lie. And that gives you everything that you need to know.
I know he's undersized, but dang, man, that's producing.
Yeah, I had this conversation the other day with a young man that's tall and lanky, and sometimes the length can help a kid out, right? Where for me, I'm short, so my size helped me out, and I'm a big kid, or was a big kid, still am a big kid, I guess. And
Mitchy the kid.
Use the abilities that you have and maximize them. Period. And that's what that young man does. But again, silent. He's not that guy that necessarily needs to be in front of everything.
No, he's quiet.
He's just going to go to work. That's it.
I love it.
And I hope that he gets his opportunity to play at the next level, because I think he can.
And they do. And this is where St. Charles West, I think, sets themselves a little bit above other teams. Brennan Goring 6-1 last year. Adam Kalk was 4-3. Brady Kilker 3-3. They have some pitching. They have some depth there. The leader of that team is Brennan Goring, and how they go is where he's going to take them. I really believe, and he's got a great supporting cast with that team. Coach Allen, they got a shot at another G.A.C. North title, I think. The Warrenton Warriors, Coach Eric Burley, we're going to get him on the show. They finished 7-3. They lost Cannon Hibbs last year from last year's team, but they got a lot of their guys back. Tyler Oliver, second team all conference, second team all district, slashed 442, 511, 584, 9 doubles, a triple, 22 runs scored, 18 RBIs. Joe Goldsmith, first team all conference, second team all district. Ben Peth, first team all conference, second team all district. Austin Haas was second team all conference. These guys put up some numbers. Peth was 329, 440, 400, 18 RBIs. Austin Haas, 313, scoring 32 runs with 7 doubles. So Warrenton is not short on offense. What I can see, though, is they're short on pitching. And
I've had Peth and their catcher, they played for PBA or PSA, whatever it is, whatever it is now. I apologize to Premier, but I've had those kids for a while, and I've been able to see them kind of grow. And I think Peth is underrated. I mean, I think it's the depth of arms. Because when I talked to Peth, I mean, he pitched a lot in the last couple of years. And they would pitch him only so many pitches so he could come back a couple days sooner and try to help them in a tournament. Because they're short on the pitching side. So based on that inside information, I 100% agree with you. Pitching's going to be, I think, their number one hurdle.
Yeah. And that, to me, that's what's tough, because I think Warrenton always is a tough team to play. I mean, they scrap.
Yeah, they're scrap.
I love it. So, and then last year's district champion, Winfield Warriors, Coach Stokes, Jamie Stokes, they finished 8-2, 16-7 overall. Of course, it was the epic district final game that kind of was tough for them. That's why I love this rematch coming up early in the season. But they're returning 2 of their top 3 bats. 2024 grad Alexander Kinney and Brady Creech. Kinney slashed 365, 450, 588 with 4 doubles, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs. Creech, Brady Creech, who we had on the show, we had him in a player spotlight. Go watch that. I really like this young man. Brady Creech, he's an impressive young man. 319, 424, 417 with 5 doubles, 1 triple, and scored 20 runs. So they got seniors Caden Palmer, Logan Havocan, and then they got a 2025 grad contributors in Warren Conrad and Colin Morse coming back. The offense is there again, but you got the pitching here. Creech was 5-1 with a 2.63 ERA. Colin Morse was 4-1 with a 4.12. So they're going to need more pitching, but they got two dudes. They got some guys. I think Winfield is still right there in the mix for this title.
Yeah, and that's what, again, when he talked about at the top of the show, the Winfield St. Charles West right off the bat. I'm like, man, this is going to be a good one. And then talking to Coach Nuru with a little bit of the how the season kind of ended for the two clubs, and to the Winfield athletes, there's the young man that passed away during duck season in an accident. He's a former baseball player, and sometimes things like that can lead to a history season for them, for Raleigh support, motivation, whatever it may be. And it's unfortunate sometimes. Obviously, it's not sometimes, but it's unfortunate that may be the driver. But again, they might rally around and say, "Let's do this for this athlete and Trent Bush," and so they may go out there and run a table. It's a small school, right? So
Right.
there's a lot of little things inside the two schools that are happening that the average fan won't know about, and so we're here to tell them, go out and watch these two compete against each other. I do think that they deserve it. They're going to be the face of the league. Um, I'm assuming that these are going to be in the district championships.
Yeah. Well, those are my projections. You can go read this for yourself. I go to the website. This preview is up on our website, youthbaseballmidwest.com. You can see it there on your screen. Now for the projection or the predictions, Mitch. I got Orchard Farm at number 6. I think that's, it's going to be tough. We'll see. We'll see what they do. St. Charles Pirates coming in at number 5. They could sneak up on some folks. It'll be interesting to see how they do. At number 4, the Warrenton Warriors. I think their pitching is going to be what keeps them out of that race. Number 3, I've got Winfield coming in at number 3. I know. I think that could. This was a tough one when I was looking at that. I'm going to finish here. Number 2, no offense, Coach, but St. Charles West Warriors. I got number 1. I think North Point is going to win this, the G.A.C. North, and I think North Point's they're on the come. All 3 of these Warriors teams, though, Warrenton, Winfield, West, they have the talent to win this. It's not like those 3 teams there. They're going to be there. Pitching, though, rules the day, and that will be the key for this conference. And I think West and North Point have the best pitching right now that I can see, and so I think that's what gives them a leg
up. I can go with the St. Charles Orchard Farm. It's a flip-flop. It's, what freshman or what sophomore is going to step up, give them 1 or 2 more wins to put them at a 5 and something, kind of record for the season. Obviously, they have to compete against each other. So, what ace is going to be better than the other the next day. And I agree. I think Warrenton's going to be in that 4 spot, and I am going to go West as your number 1, and I say that because of Goring. I think he has enough to win it, and I'm going with districts. I think North Point could win the G.A.C. North Conference. I think when it comes down to a single game, if the cards are correct, I think St. Charles West takes that over North Point if they meet in that final game.
Well,
and Goring gets after it.
They won't. North Point's a Class 5 school, so that won't have any bearing on districts.
Oh. I you know what? I didn't even, it didn't register. So districts actually will not have, so it'll be West, Warrenton, Winfield.
Warrenton's
or
Class
whoever.
5 too. You're the Class 4 schools. I think you got St. Charles Pirates, North Point Grizzlies, and the Warrenton Warriors. They're Class 5 schools. Those three are Class 5. Then you have Orchard Farm, Winfield, and St. Charles West are the Class 4 schools.
So you just dropped a knowledge bomb on me. So for some reason, I assumed, which we should never do, right? Uh, because they were in the same conference, they were the same districts. Shows you how much I actually really care, I guess, about the G.A.Cs. Call it what it is. I didn't think about that. So I don't know that changes. Obviously, district is going to change. I still think St. Charles West going to win the districts as Goring.
Yeah, I agree.
But I think it's going to be 1 and 2 with North Point and St. Charles West. I think what it might come down to is the games against each other. And I believe last year they competed well against each other. But again, having Goring as that guy, I think that's a win for them on Tuesday. And then, Wednesday, it's all hands on deck. I know a little bit more about North Point because I have kids that play there at North Point that we train. I know some kids at St. Charles West that had played for our organization in the past. So I'm looking at the young kids like Volkel and Bueller that are over there that didn't have much opportunity last year because of injuries or whatnot. So I'm going North Point 2, West number 1.
Okay.
Goring's just that guy. I think that it's enough to help them. But the North Point thing, I think they could take over Winfield. And that's not to take anything away from Winfield.
No.
Winfield's going to have a good year.
Yeah.
It's just that when, North Point, unfortunately, Winfield's got to play North Point and, St. Charles West.
And I you can't sleep on the Pirates. I think those 5 they're going to beat each other up a little bit. And I think that's where you're going to see this. I think it's going to be a fun conference to watch throughout the whole thing. And that's why I talk G.A.C. conference, in this respect. We'll get to the districts and all that later because everybody splits up. It's the same thing you got in the G.A.C. Central. Liberty is a Class 6 school. I don't know if Zumwalt North, they might be into that Class 6 as well. Depends. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. South was Class 6 a couple years ago and slipped back down. So, they border on that. It's tough when you start talking districts because then they go, pew. The only one that doesn't is the G.A.C. South. They're all Class 6. There you go.
I can tell you that I am ready. I'm done with training and I am ready to watch baseball.
Let's play some ball.
I'm ready. So ready.
Mitch, that was fun, man. I know we went a little long today, folks. I hope hope it was interesting. Look, we have a comment. Yes. Sweet, go ahead. Oh. My mom said hello.
Hi there. I haven't seen you guys in forever.
I know, right? It's been a while.
That's awesome.
My mom is
number one.
She's my number one fan. My mother is my number one fan. She watches the show every week, and I appreciate it very much.
I think it's so cool, man.
Yeah, I love it. So
I get mom comments and watches, and the old man that's off to your left is probably snoozing. I don't know how he does it. We're loud in there, and I look over, and he's just zonked.
Takes a quick 20.
But he hears everything.
Yeah, and we're just here. He's waiting for us to finish.
That's it. I love it. I think it's cool. I love the dynamics of the family, the French family.
Absolutely. Hey, man, appreciate everything. Look, if you have a comment, please put it below. Who is your top? What's your finish for the G.A.C. North? If you want to put it so bold as to put it in, we'd be love to hear from you. So
do it, homer or not. If you're a homer, be a homer. If you don't know what that means, you only root for your guys, and that's it. You got the rose-colored glasses. I love this thing, and if somebody's got insight, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let us know because I like to talk about this stuff just more than once.
Absolutely. And, I tell people I root for Fort Zumwalt East. Both my kids graduated from East. My son played for Coach Hill. I root for East. When we come to these types of things, will I say what I think about where they're at as a team? I certainly will. And I think, you be realistic. But I'm rooting for Zumwalt East.
Yeah, you know where my loyalty's at. I got
Exactly.
coaches that I love listening to and watching, and my kids are all going to be graduated as Wolves, and I love Timberland. So I got my rose colors. But the thing that I love about what we're doing this year is I get to watch the athletes play.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the story of how they're going to pitch Ramos this year because he walked him off game winner and then homer or game go ahead homer, then walk off win the next day. I
Yeah.
can't wait for that story. How does Hal without some of the big bats that they had last year? Are they going to replace those bats and arms that they lost, or for example West, and all the guys that lost something? Because when you go and look at PBR's websites, a lot of G.A.C kids that have gone on to nice D1 schools and above and all three. And so I'm just jacked where baseball is at in St. Charles County, specifically in the GACs. And I can't wait to be a part of this play-by-play.
Short answer for Hal, yes.
How,
Everybody.
man? It's like everybody. I'm a Chiefs fan now, or not now, but been a Chiefs fan for a long time, and I'm like, man, I'm already sick of the Chiefs winning. I'm like, is that a
No,
real thing?
I love it.
No. Well, of
I'm not a
course I do. I
fan,
mean,
but
Patrick Mahomes is that's another level, but I'm like, man, like I want to see.
hey,
I want to see how.
at least they're not cheating, deflating balls, filming defenses, and all that stuff of some so-called we call dynasty of the past. I mean, that's nonsense. I mean,
3 Super Bowls, the Kansas City Chiefs do not have one holding call.
well, I can't.
Well,
That's on the officials. That's uh, not my
I
issue.
know, but
And I'm no
we
Chiefs fan. I'm here to tell you. I don't. If the Detroit Lions would have been in the Super Bowl, I'd have been rooting for the Lions.
man, you could. What are you doing? Kick the field goal. Kick the field goal.
Right. Okay, we got to stop. Hey, folks, thanks for tuning in tonight. It was live. We appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday for another episode of YBMcast, powered by Game 7 Baseball. Game 7 Baseball.
.com.
I love it. We haven't done that in a while. Everybody have a great day in the Lord. If you like what we're doing, please hit the subscribe button. Hit that dinger. That's what we do around here. Right, Mitch?
That's what we do.
That
We
will
hit
get you.
dingers.
That's right. We get you notifications for all your upcoming episodes, such as this. Maybe we'll do some more live stuff in the future. Don't know yet. We'll see. Thanks for tuning in, though. Appreciate you supporting. We'll see y'all next time. Pitchers, keep throwing strikes. Hitters,
Barrel baseballs.
like it. We'll see you next time.